A lot of men don't understand how misogynistic they are. And the reason why they don't know that they misogynistic is because they love their mothers so much. They love their mothers, their sisters, and their female friends. They love us so much. They don't understand that outside of us, they only see women as less than and really sexual creatures. That's all they view women as. Oh, I'd say I'm reasonable. Okay, that's completely unreasonable. I'm reasonable.
I'm unreasonable.
You have no idea just how reasonable I have been.
Reasonable synonyms are sensible, rational, practical, fair, appropriate. Fitting, suitable, logical. All things I would definitely say describe me. Do they describe you?
Welcome to I'm Reasonable with Zainab Johnson.
I'm reasonable. Hello, welcome to another episode of I'm Reasonable with Zainab Johnson. I am Zainab Johnson. Thank you so much for tuning in. My returning reasons, you are greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for always tuning in, for subscribing, for sharing, for continuing the conversation in the comments. I really do appreciate you guys. And this is nothing without you. So thank you. And anybody, this is your first time listening. Hello, welcome. Come on in. Come on in the room. But be reasonable. Be reasonable. And at the end of this, if you like what you're hearing, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe. I'm trying to get to that 100K, and I think we're like 400 subscribers away. So, you know, if you like what you're hearing and watching, then go ahead. And you haven't subscribed? What you doing? And if you are a reason true, then, you know, go the extra mile and tell somebody else that you're listening to this and watching this, and they should also subscribe. Thank you, everybody that came to my Addison shows. I had so much fun in Addison, the Dallas area. Thank y'all so much for coming out. You guys sold out my last box of vinyls. I only have one vinyl left, and guess what? Guess what? But I know a lot of you guys have been requesting them, so I have reached out to Memphis Records, the vinyl printing company that printed my vinyls for me, and I'm seeing if they are willing to sell direct to consumer. Obviously, I'd still get the money, but they would ship it directly to you guys. But I will no longer be carrying them and having them at the shows for you guys. Because as I said, they are heavy. I just made one of my fantastic kale salads, and I was eating it up. And so I might have kale in my teeth this entire episode. I'm sorry. I could have looked in the mirror. I should have a mirror on my desk, right? Any woman working in entertainment would have a vanity mirror on her desk so that before she gets on camera, she can look and check and see if there's kale in her teeth. All right, what are we talking about today? It was cold in Addison. I did not know that it could get that cold in Addison. It was cold. But the guy that came to my show. So there was a guy who came to my show on Friday. I don't know which show he came to on Friday. I think he came to the first show. He came to the first show on Friday, but then came back on Saturday to buy a vinyl record. You know who you are. If you are straight, if you are single, if you are, like reasonably successful, like by your own metrics, you feel like you have some good mental health and hygiene and you're like a nice person, you should DM me. You should slide in my DM. Because let me just tell you what. The delusional / arrogance, I can't tell sometimes when I encounter men. I can't tell if they delusional or arrogant. But them be the ones. Them be the ones at the show. Vocal. But then every so often, there's just one guy who I can tell, like, oh, I think he's interested, but he doesn't have the nerve. You know, like, I don't know, whatever. Probably because he sees me interact with some other delusional, arrogant guy in the audience, and I make it very clear, like, this ain't about to happen. Anyway, if you watch this, or, you know what I'm saying, somehow this gets to you, slide in my DM. That's all. Speaking of arrogance, Diddy, the gift that keeps on giving or taking. I don't know. Take that. Did y'all watch the documentary? I would assume so because it's number 1 on Netflix in a whole bunch of different countries. So it seems like people are watching. I did watch it, although I ain't got Netflix. So, but I did watch. Let's talk about it. Can we? But first, did y'all see that racist Cinnabon lady? Basically, in Wisconsin, there was a Somali man and woman, and they were ordering things at Cinnabon, which, first mistake right there. That's just my personal preference. I have never liked Cinnabon. It seems, now I like a bun that has icing and cinnamon and sugar on it, but I don't know, it's something about Cinnabon. And I'm about to say, I hope I'm not shooting myself in the foot, but I wouldn't be mad if they was like, oh, we was about to do a commercial with you. I wouldn't be mad because, like, I don't really like y'all anyway. I think it's so artificial. Even when I walk past a Cinnabon in a mall, I kind of gag a little bit inside because I just be like, ugh, like gag like I'm about to throw up. But you know what I think it's from? So like way back in the day, right? So there used to be New York City didn't really have malls like that, right? But there used to be this really wackadocious mall on 34th Street. And I really never went to that mall because I don't think they had good stores. It's like, if you're going to go to 34th Street, you're going to Macy's. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I went to this mall, me and my friend, who was crazy. This particular friend, she came to the show. She flew all the way from New York just to come see me in Addison. She hit me. She was like, hey, I'm coming to your show. I'm in Addison. I'm coming to your show. And I saw that text like in the afternoon. And I was like, oh, yay, I can't wait to see you. I'll see you at the show. In my mind, I'm thinking she's in town doing whatever she's doing. And she just happened to be in town on the same day I'm doing my show. But then when my show was over, I'm like, so what brings you to town? And she was like, girl, you. And I was like, what you mean? And she was like, Zainab, I cannot believe that I have never seen you perform. And even if you were at the show Saturday, was it Saturday? Yeah, Saturday early show. You know, I shouted her out in the audience. But she was like, I cannot believe that I have never seen you perform live. And she was like, and so I had to come to see you perform. Like, I was going to come to Chicago, but then I was like, dang, Chicago in February, that is way too cold. She was like, so I just got on a plane. I was like, I'm going to Addison for a day. Anywho, coincidentally, and I just love seeing her. Anyway, coincidentally, her and I, when we were like freshmen in high school, we went down to this mall and we got, oh no, it wasn't Cinnabon. It was Auntie Anne's. I still don't like Cinnabon, but it was Auntie Anne's that got me sick. I never had Auntie Anne's before, and they was giving out like free samples. And her and I, while we were in the mall, we was like, oh, let's just get some free samples. And the free sample was good. I can't remember what it was, but it was good. It wasn't like a cheese pretzel, because y'all know I'm not about to eat that. It had to be something like sugary, caramelly, something like that. But I remember feeling like it was so good that we actually ordered like an order of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had one of the samples and it was like, oh, we should get some. And we got some, and I was so sick. I mean, I'm talking about on the train ride home, sick as a dog. And from 34th Street, I grew up in Harlem, from 34th Street, that's literally 4 stops from my house. 4 stops from the train stop that I get off to go home. And I was so sick. And then when I got home, just sick on the toilet all night, on the toilet, coming out my mouth, coming out my butt, sick. I'm so sorry if you eating right now. I'm so sorry. For some reason, though, I see Cinnabons and Auntie Anne's the same. Are they the same company? Whatever. The way y'all be commenting like, yo, this is ADHD at its finest. I've never been diagnosed. And I be at the doctor. Anyway, okay, so this Somali man and woman in Wisconsin, they were ordering buns from Cinnabon. They was ordering Cinnabons from Cinnabon. And this employee who looks like they use meth every single day was working behind the counter, and she said something racist to them upon their request for, I don't know, like more pecans on a Cinnabon or something like that. And so once she started saying like racist things, then they started filming, right? And once they started filming, then the meth user proceeded to say racist things. And then obviously it went to the internet. It went viral. Cinnabon, the company, removed themselves, and of course, removed themselves from any sort of association with that employee. Obviously made a public statement to the internet saying that she was immediately fired. And then, like all white, specifically white racists are able to do, is she started a GoFundMe, and the joint is all the way up to like 6 figures at this point. Now, while this video is going viral and everybody is like racist, right? And it's right after, who knows when this happened? This could have happened this could have happened weeks ago, right? With the internet, sometimes you never know. But this came right after our ignorant ass president went on a rant about how he hates Somalians, how he hates the Somali people, and he don't want them in our country.
Somalians ripped off that state for billions of dollars, billions, every year, billions of dollars. And they contribute nothing.
So that is another thing that pushed this video to be as viral as it is, right? Because there's hate and racial videos, online every single day. But when I watched the video, I noticed something very different than I feel like a lot of people notice. I noticed that when the girl who looked like Taryn Manning from Orange is the New Black, the one that looked like It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp, her, when she said the N-word, the Somali guy said he's not the N-word. And he didn't just say it. He was like, no, I'm not. He didn't I'm gonna include the clip of the video, but he didn't just say it like no. I could tell that when she called him the N-word, it caught him off guard. Which makes me believe that as much as she probably said something racist and wild and hate-filled and all of that before they started taping, she ain't released that N-word until the cameras was on, right? Because it's like they upped the ante taping, and so she upped the ante on her performance of ignorance and hate, right? And so she said the N-word, right? And the way this Somali man said that he was not the N-word, that's actually the thing in the video that stood out to me.
You racist.
You racist.
Racist? That's I am racist.
So idiot for
And
real.
you are an
You are an idiot. No,
I
I'm
am
not.
racist, and I'll say that to the whole entire world. Don't be disrespectful.
You ruin your life, by the way.
Oh, talking about
Bye.
you talking about respect? You talking about respect? You are fired from this place, motherfucker. You're not gonna be working here.
Suck it.
Suck what? Look how you look like.
What's wrong with you?
What the is wrong with you, you ugly bitch? Get the
Ugly?
Okay, now, of course, I'm not here, nor will I ever be here to punch down or kick my Somali brothers and sisters while they're quote unquote. I was today years old when I found out it's not quote unquote, but it's quote unquote. Anybody else? Anyway, there'd be like the grammar police on TikTok. But I'm not here to punch down on my Somali brothers and sisters, especially as I said, since, our president is already doing a great job of that, right? And I'm sure that his disgusting rant against the Somali people, against the Somali community in the United States, empowers racists and bigots to behave in exactly the way that Taryn Manning, Orange is the New Black Girl meth head did. On top of the fact that he has a deep jealousy and disdain for the Somali Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, right? I'm not here to do that, but I am here to have this conversation that I have had quite often with my immigrant friends, like friends that are really close to me, and they were either born in another country or they're first generation, meaning like they came here very young, but their parents were born in another country. The day when y'all find out that you two are the N-word, the day that you find out that according to the racist in this country, did you's a nigga too. I know that that's a hard day for y'all. What you have to understand is that racists don't see your country of origin. They don't see your religion, at least not at first. They don't even see your gender. They see the color of your skin. So while you can exist in this country and try your best to distinguish yourself from Black Americans, to separate yourself from Black Americans, it does not serve you. It does not serve you at all to not be aligned with the Black American agenda of upliftment. Because just know, you see how quick they called you an N-word? Just know, if we get anything, if Black Americans, and you know on the internet people will say foundational Black Americans, if Americans who have been here for generations, our ancestors were enslaved. You know what I'm saying? Like in this country, built this country, you just have to know that if ever we get anything, that opens up the door for you. It does not matter how much you do. I have this conversation with one of my very, very, very close friends who is Haitian. And I remember he was telling me how smart his father was, how smart his father was, the engineer, the only engineer. He worked for the MTA, and his father was the only person, but his father is a Haitian, migrant, right? And his father was the only person of color to reach this position during that time period for the MTA, right? And the father kept coming home talking about that the co-workers was saying this N-word is getting this N-word is getting this, and he had no idea. And as my friend is telling me the story, I said, and when did your father find out that they was talking about him? And he was like, no, Zainab, you have to understand, like we was from Haiti. I said, no. It sounds like y'all don't understand. So I ask you again, when did he find out? Because I'm sure there came a day, as there comes a day for every single person of color, specifically of the African diaspora, that be trying to hold on to your country's identity in the United States of America. But at the end of the day, a bigot only sees you for the color of your skin. And therefore, when they decide to activate their bigotry, for sure, they going to say the N-word. It's like when Meghan Markle was like, I had no idea I was Black. First of all, if you holding your mother's hand and somebody call her the N-word, then baby girl, you found out that you was Black. Now, you could choose to not believe it. You could choose to erase that part of your memory and exist in the world pretending like that didn't happen. But for sure, you witnessed the prejudice that your mother had to live through, for sure. So you could get on, you could cook all you want in a state-of-the-art, pristine styled kitchen. But for sure, what I know is you knew you was a black woman. I kind of be a little bit disappointed because it's like, if you would just stop fighting it, and I'm not saying, right, like, I'm not saying we are N-words. I'm just saying, right, I'm not even taking on that slur, right? I'm not taking on it seems like still, it's like, it's the undefeated word of hatred. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody been able to come up with a new word since. Did the majority of people around the world seem to hate, although they try to use it when they want to feel cool. It's like, just lean into it. Because if you just lean into it, then you could show up how we be having to show up, which is just like Romani Malco in 40-Year-Old Virgin, when he said, oh, you wanted the nigga? The nigga's here now. And that's why people be getting dragged from across the counter when they say stuff like that at fast food restaurants. That's why. Because it's oh, you wanted the nigga? The nigga's here now. see, no. Because I can't include the scene because they'll flag the video if I put the 40-Year-Old Virgin scene. So I'm going to just do the scene for y'all. See, no. See, you wanted the nigga. The nigga's here now. I'm surprised. Like, lean into it. Have y'all noticed what I'm wearing? Let's move this aside for 1 second. New merch. I am currently wearing one of the new I'm Reasonable t-shirts. They are available right now. They are officially available right now on my website, ZainabJohnson.com. If you just click on Reasons merch, you will see 2 color combinations. This one, which is taupe, and then, of course, black. And I really like taupe. I don't know. I really like the color taupe, and that's why I went with this. But of course, there's black for the people who be like, I don't know how I'm gonna dress. I don't know how I'm gonna, you know me, I'm gonna do monochromatic. Like right now, I got on some blue jeans, but you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put on the same color trousers. You know what I'm saying? Probably put on a little same color bucket hat. And then the only thing that's gonna pop is I'm reasonable, bow, sensible, logical, bow. Zainab said it. There you go. Anyway, they're on sale right now. If you're wondering what size I'm wearing a medium. They're unisex t-shirts. They're 100% cotton, and I am currently wearing a medium, okay? We have sizes small to extra large, and there's a limited amount, so if you want them, please go ahead and go to my website and purchase them. The link is in the details of this podcast. Diddy do it? Did he? Did 50? Oh my God. I really don't like when people be saying 50 Cent name like that. Like 50. There is a F before that T. When people be like 50, I feel like only white people say 50 like that. Like, and they don't. If they was at the store and it was like, oh, your change is 2 quarters, they're not gonna be like, oh, my change is 50 cent. No. But I think when referring to Curtis Jackson, I think only white people be saying 50. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. But is that how he spells it? And I don't know. I thought it was 50. Like Fifty. That's what I thought. Anyway. It's hard to listen to 50. It's not hard to listen to 50. It's hard to, so they're producing this okay. The podcast. The documentary that is out right now on Netflix, it is called Sean Combs' The Reckoning. And it is executively produced by Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. And him and the director, whose name is Alex Stapleton, they are doing press, right? Because, I mean, who else going to do press? So they're doing press for the documentary, and I found that it's a little bit hard for me to listen to 50 Cent in interviews. And it's not, 50 Cent is very funny. Like he's kind of like he's like a funny guy. He clearly is a smart guy, But he's not like, in my opinion, and respectfully with love, because clearly 50 Cent is somebody that nobody wants as opposition, right? Nobody wants 50 to be the villain in their story, right? But like he ain't really much, he ain't nothing to look at, in my opinion. And he got a funny way of talking. Like he talked like he should have put out Through the Wire by Kanye, right? Like did they have to wire your jaw and never take it out? Because he don't really open his mouth when he talk. Everything be them teeth just like, and I was just, yeah, he not a tough guy. It's like, so it'd be a little bit hard for me to listen to 50 in these interviews, which is really interesting because during the pandemic, I actually listened to 50 Cent's audiobook and I really enjoyed it. I actually thought, and I didn't think I would, because I'm not the biggest fan of 50. Like, I don't dislike him. He's never done anything personal to me. I know some of his music, right? Like, I know like whatever music was big hits, then of course I know that. And actually, let me be very honest with you. The first time I ever heard 50 was when he did that song. It was maybe like a freestyle or something. It's like a mixtape, and he was talking about how he robbing the industry, something like that. That might actually be my favorite 50 Cent thing ever. I never seen a 50 Cent show, but I enjoyed his book. I really enjoyed his book, actually. And I didn't think that I was going to be able to listen to it because he was doing the audiobook, and just kind of like the way he speaks, I just thought that I wouldn't really be able to listen to that for a long period of time. But I actually think it helped to like hear his words in his voice and in his cadence. Let me tell you something. Now, the opposite effect, I was listening to Viola Davis's audiobook and I was excited. Let me tell you, I had to stop. And that, I say that respectfully. Please don't come in this podcast, talking to me about Viola Davis. You do not have to protect Viola Davis to me. She is the queen, the icon, the legend. She should be the highest paid actress in Hollywood. She should be the highest paid person in Hollywood. Her snot should have its own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, okay? The legendary, the incomparable, the beautiful, the wonderful, the untouchable Viola Davis, okay? Okay. But gosh darn it, I could not get through that book. It's like her tone was so sad. Everything sounded like a dramatic reading of not ideal situations. Even when she was talking about she got accepted into Juilliard on a full ride, I'm like, this sounds like good news. But the way she's reading it, it sounds awful. Sounds like something terrible is happening. But I'm hearing that she got into this school that she dreamed about going to. But so why does this? I said, oh no, I cannot listen to it. And I was listening to her on like walks. I said, oh no, you making me want to sit down and cry, Viola. And this whole book is the triumph. It's not. I mean, sure, she came from some tough beginnings, but it's like, girl, now it seemed like we on the better part of things. I know life ain't been no crystal. What is it? I know, but God, at least the good times, you gotta sound like the good times are good. Anyway, I do, I don't know. I just don't love seeing 50 Cent answer questions from report. Even he has said, they was like, does whatever. But the director, Alex Stapleton, she kind of, wherever he falls short in an interview, in terms of it's like very uncomfortable to watch him for me. The way he sits, it's very uncomfortable. I can't really say what I'm really thinking because this is the internet. And like I said, I don't really be trusting the world like that. But it's like, Anyway, she kind of be, picking up the slack in the interview, but that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. I watched the first 2 episodes with my friend, and it was very interesting, the things that triggered her versus the things that triggered me, about his like character or lack thereof, right? And as I hear like content creators, as well as people like in my personal life, what I've realized is there's different groups when it comes to Sean Combs, right? Like there's the diehard fans of all genders, but mostly misogynist, male, but all genders, that just think that this entire thing has been him being railroaded, right? There's like that group of people. And then there's the people who, the people in the world who have no idea who he was. Like, yeah, they may have, come across a story, seen a video, but for the most part, even if they know he's a celebrity, they really know nothing about his life or his career. But they don't understand like victimization. They don't understand Stockholm syndrome. And so they don't quite understand like while they can understand like, okay, yeah, it seems like he's done some bad things. And sure, yeah, he might even be a bad person, but I can't hold him responsible for anything, because if he's so bad, why did all of these people stay around him? You know what I'm saying? If he was abusing you, why did you go back? Why did you not only go back, but also express, gratitude and like love for him, right? There's those group of people. There's that group of people. There's the people who I probably fall into this group who never really liked Diddy. Like not a personal thing. Like I have no personal, like I've had no personal interactions. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I had one thing in a club, but not negative or positive, right? But you always just kind of knew like, he kind of rubbed you the wrong way. He's somebody that always been trying to appear like they attractive, but you never saw the attraction in them. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't care I don't care what you do to your hair. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care how you dance across the stage. I don't care if you have on a fur coat. Like, I know that the world is telling me that you're attractive, but I see the complete opposite. Like there's that group of people, right, that they just couldn't put their finger on it, but they always had like a healthy level of distrust when it came to him. But they love all the bad boy artists and they love all the bad boy music. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Mary J, 112, Total, Mace, Loon, Biggie. Who else? Black Rob, Craig Mack. Like, it's like all of these songs. Jodeci. All of this amazing music, like you a complete fan of that. And it's like, no matter what he do, you like, I ain't gonna let his behavior stop me from putting on some over the knee boots and vibing out to Mary J. Blige. Right? Then you have people who really liked him. You have the group of people that really liked him. And y'all can decide what group you're in. But you have, matter of fact, when you decide what group you in, put it in the comments, please. But then you have the group of people who really liked him. They were charmed by his existence. They admired his life. They maybe even looked up to him, maybe wished that they could have been around him or known him. Fans of the artists he put out, a fan of his, whether you feel like he's a talent or not. But then they saw him beat up Cassie, and that they can't unsee it. They can't go back from that, right? And lastly, although this doesn't, like, I'm sure there's more groups, right? And if I didn't name a group, then put the group in the caption in the chat, please. But like, then there's that last group who idolizes celebrity, period. They idolize celebrity, and they like Diddy in the same way that Trump supporters like Trump. You know what I'm saying? Like they have just accepted these individuals as their idols. And therefore, they can do no wrong. So they always going to find a reason to justify, even if they can recognize quote unquote bad behavior, they'll also find a reason to justify it because they have really held on to this person being like an idol for them. I should probably have said spoiler alert, right? If you haven't, but I feel like if you ain't watched, then you probably ain't gonna watch. But spoiler alerts. I was talking to my friend about it, who he hadn't finished the documentary, and I had said something. I was like, he said something about one of the people in the documentary that was being interviewed. He was like, yeah, it's messed up that he took the 25% from him. I said, yeah, Aaron, raped him and essayed him. And he was like, what? I said, oh, you ain't get to that part yet? He was like, no. He said, dang, you ruined it for me. And I said, what? He said, I didn't know that he did that. I said, Diddy has been getting 2 years of gay grape accusation. Why now just a man saying it in one sentence at the end of the documentary, it messed up the whole documentary for you? Do we need to unpack this? Anyway, spoiler alert. So first of all, so the documentary, and I'm not about to give like a whole synopsis of the documentary. I just want to say what I found out about myself watching, right? Like, there's a point in the documentary for everybody that watches where that's the point where they like, oh yeah. If by the end of the documentary you like, he is God damn, he's awful. Like, you accept him as a true villain. You know what I'm saying? Just as a true villain. And yeah, all villains have an origin story. That's how they started off the documentary. They started talking about, what his upbringing was like and who his mother was and how his father was this quote unquote gangster who died. Diddy never really met his father. You know what I'm saying? Who died, and his, attempted emulation of him and other like powerful gangsters of his time and blah, blah, right? They give the villain origin story, right? But if by the end of the documentary you feel like he's a villain, every person that arrives at that, whether you felt that way before and this just confirms it, or you felt a little bit and this solidifies it, whatever, right? Or you was like, I feel like he shouldn't have been charged with the man at blah, blah, blah. And then you watch this and you like, oh no, right? Wherever you are, if you arrive at the end of this that he's a villain, there's a moment in the 4 episodes that turns for you where you like, so for me, I'll walk you guys through it, right? So as I'm watching, the first thing that they sort of highlight is the celebrity basketball game that he threw at City College. City College, I actually went to City College. City College is a 4-year university that is located in Harlem. Beautiful campus. If you ever watch Law and Order, they use that campus for so many of the episodes. Whenever they're trying to show like a really like posh private school, they usually use City College's campus but there's like I think probably, I don't know how helpful this is right now, but Russell Simmons went to City College, whatever. Anyway, so he threw a basketball game when he was very young, like, 19, 20 years old. He threw a celebrity basketball game because he was a dancer in videos and he was an intern at Uptown Records. He was a promoter. Like, he was trying to create a name for himself and a brand for himself and just make himself a celebrity. And so he was a party promoter. And so he did this. Basketball has always been like a really popular sport in New York City, and specifically Harlem, because Harlem is like Rucker Rucker Park is in Harlem, and like that's like, I don't know. I think before, like, there was those AND1, like, tapes, like AND1, like basketball mixtapes and stuff like that. I feel like that all started kind of at Rucker Park, right? So basketball has always been like sort of like daytime going into nighttime entertainment in New York, alongside like club industry, hip hop, R&B, etc., right? And so he throws this celebrity basketball game at City College. And I found this out. I of course, was too young for this, but I found this out that there was a thing in New York City called bum rushing, right? And it might have been in other parts of other cities in the country as well, but called bum rushing, where if a party was hot, if a party was sold out, then a bunch of people from outside, they would just bum rush in. So it's like, you ain't about to get in because you ain't buy tickets or it's sold out or whatever, but you got to be inside. And so if one or two of y'all is doing that, you're not going to be effective. But imagine like a group of 100 people, right? Just bum rushing. It's like 3 big dudes in front of a door being security ain't going to be able to stop 90, 100 people from just running in, right? So apparently that's what happened at this celebrity basketball game. But as they went in and went down into the gym, the doors didn't open both ways, right? They weren't like, I'm going to just call them swing doors. That may not be the proper terminology, but the doors didn't open both ways. So what happened is, because the doors didn't open to the gym, the people kept coming, but the people in the front, they just getting crushed by the people that keep coming, the people that are bum rushing, and the doors that would not open, that would not push open for them to go in. The doors only opened this way. Tragic. I never seen, as much as I heard about that, just like growing up in Harlem, I heard about a lot of stuff growing up. Just like, when I used to play in Central Park, my parents used to be like, they used to tell us the story of the Central Park Five, the exonerated five. So it's like, you just hear about a lot of stuff that went on in Harlem if you growing up in Harlem, So, but this documentary, they show a lot of footage of it. And they show, which was very like kind of hard to watch, they show like the dead bodies, And so it's a strong start to a really well-made documentary. However you feel, even if you left it feeling like, yeah, I mean, I already knew that stuff, or it's still an exceptionally put together documentary, But so that was one of the first big things that they showed, that kind of is like a character assessment of him, right? Like, this is his fault, and this was seemingly his fault, and this is how he responded to it. He didn't have the most ideal response to it, and he was negligent, blah, 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 right? So as me and my friend watching it, right, my friend, she's, before it starts, she used to work in hip hop journalism and everything. So she has very clear views and opinions that are also backed up by just firsthand experience, right? And so she was like, yeah, he's a terrible person. She was like, but we all knew, da, 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 da. And I was like, but that could have happened to anybody. Like, it's tragic. I mean, it was awful. That was awful. Even a little bit that I saw, that was awful. I can only imagine if you were there. I can only imagine if you were the people who was next to the people, that you were injured but not killed. You know what I'm saying? Or you in the back bum rushing and you find out that, oh shoot, people in the front dying, or you already in the gym, you playing in the game, or you already watching the game, and you find out just outside people are currently like just being like squished essentially to death. Like, that's horrific, But I was like, that could have happened to anybody. That's a young person that planned let's just call it a party, planned an event, and something tragic happened at an event. It's like going to a concert and getting trampled at a concert. I'm not saying that I don't have empathy. Of course I do. Which is why, I mean, I don't know. Young people do, we all do things. that's the reason why wisdom, that's the reason why we should always honor people who are older than us, people who have had the blessing of getting older and older and older, because with age comes wisdom. But that could have happened to anybody. Now, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too lenient. My friend was like, no, he didn't hire the right amount of security. She said he over promoted the party. I said, you know how crazy that sound? I said, ain't no such thing as over promoted. I said, when you pay for something and you trying to recoup your money, things sell out all the time. I remember when I was in New York, like maybe 1 or 2 years ago, and Kai Cenat, I believe it was Kai Cenat, was giving out something free in Union Square, and they had to shut down Union Square. So many people had showed up for this young streamer. It's like ain't no such thing as over promoting something. And she was like, well, he should have known. I'm like, but how? That's a 19, 20-year-old guy. It'd be different if he was like, if you could show me proof that they was like, listen, she was like, well, he only charged $12 for the tickets. You know it's going to sell out. It's like, I get it. You don't like Diddy. I get it. It's just like how I feel about Trump, right? You ain't got to put no extra sauce on it. It is enough damaging things out there. You ain't got to, you don't have to put 20 on 10 for nothing. You don't have to exaggerate anything. But if you got proof, if on that documentary they was able to prove that he told them, oh, bum rush, or that he was like, that it was at capacity and he kept the tickets on sale, or it wasn't even, it was like people didn't even have tickets. Or if they was like, oh, we need 9 people securing the front door, and he was like, nah, I'm gonna only put 3. Now, if you could show me proof of that, then I can say that it was intentional and malicious. But to me, I just see that as like a tragedy that you learn from. I said a lot of times the reason why, she was like, yeah, that's why there's building codes and blah, blah. I said, the reason why there's capacity, the reason why there's building codes is because something has happened to make people realize this needs this, right? What you like, we all unfortunately learn by trial and error. So while she at the beginning, first episode, was like, he's the worst. I was like, yeah, I think we're going to get there. But I don't think that this is the thing that makes him the worst for me. So then fast forward, when he started Bad Boy Records, and he had gave the guy who started with it, I forget the guy's name, I'm sorry. Let me look it up. Kirk Burroughs. When he started Bad Boy, so he put 25% of Bad Boy, he gave 25% to Kirk Burroughs, who is who is heavily in the documentary. So he gives him 25%. And then they say he puts the 75% in his mother's name. And he put the 75% in his mother's name so that he wouldn't have to pay any of the victims that died or were injured at that celebrity basketball game. So my friend, again, she like, see, terrible. And I'm like, we gotta be honest. We have to be. Let me tell y'all something. I'm such a softie in terms of like caring about what's fair and caring about humanity and wanting the scales of good to always outweigh any scale of bad, right? Right? I like you have to know that about me. I'm doing a whole show that every week I'm like, let's try to be reasonable, right? But I also am like a stickler for like, let's keep it 100. To quote crazy ass Ray J, and for the love of Ray J, I'm gonna keep it 100. Every single lawyer especially in entertainment, every single lawyer, a business advisor, accountant, business manager is going to advise a person that's starting a company that may be lucrative. Listen, you got this going on. Listen, you got this going on, and they going to immediately come after your money. So it is my professional advice as your business manager, as your financial consultant, as your financial advisor. I don't think you should put any of this in your name. In the same way that they going to advise you to put it in a trust, advise you to put it. This is not, again, I'm not saying he's not a villain. I'm just saying that those things weren't the things that made me go, y'all, I hate to break it to you. That's what everybody. The first thing they tell you in this business, when you start making a certain amount of money, is they start telling you not to have it in your name. Whether that's business entities, whether that's so they can't come after you personally. Especially if you got some legal stuff happening. Now, here's where it turned for me. Well, me and my friend watching it, and you know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, come on. Like, yeah, I still believe that I'm going to arrive at he is undeniably a villain. But I'm sorry, those two things, that could have happened. Everybody's going to do that, and that could have happened to anybody. But for me, the turning point was two things. When they said he buried Biggie, and they one episode really spends a lot of time on the whole Tupac and Biggie of it all, right? And when they lay out, and I think like one of my really close friends, he is very much invested. He's read anything that's out, any video that you could watch, any book you could read, any transcript that you could read. If he could go sit in court in Vegas right now with Keefe D, he would be there. He is obsessed with the murder of both Tupac and Biggie. And so when I talked to him about that part of the documentary, he was like, I could see him having something to do with Biggie's death, but I can't see him having. He was like, he didn't do it with Tupac. He could all the way be jealous of Tupac. He could hate Tupac. He could have wanted to set up Tupac, but he is not the person. He is not responsible for Tupac's death. There is someone else very specifically responsible for Tupac's death. Now now here's the thing. I don't know none of this. You know, I don't know this. I'm just a spectator, right? But the thing that got me, after they talk about not just Biggie dying, but the fact that when he went to Cali, I knew this. I remember like seeing video and stuff like this whenever Biggie was interviewed, and it was like East Coast, West Coast, and blah, 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 blah. I remember Biggie wasn't so... He wasn't really so amped to like respond. Like, I just remember, you know, hearing about it when I was younger, and all of the messaging that I got was that Biggie really liked Tupac. You get what I'm saying? And like he knew it, that this was some misunderstanding, and he knew that there was no need for him to, like, you know what I'm saying, throw gasoline on the fire, right? But then once it got out that Tupac maybe slept with his wife, Faith Evans, and then put it in a song, then Biggie was like, I have no choice but to respond, right? Y'all, it's so warm in Los Angeles. It was 45 degrees in Dallas, and I came home and it's 87 degrees in Los Angeles in December. 87 degrees, yep. Anyway. So if y'all like, why she? Because my office is hot, and if I turn on the AC, it's gonna be loud. Anyway, Make sure y'all get y'all I'm Reasonable t-shirts, okay? They come in black and taupe, sizes small to extra large. If I reached out to you and already talked to you about the t-shirts, then you know who you are. But get your t-shirts. Anyway, also, this is a good time to tell you guys that I will be in Dayton, Kentucky this weekend, which is the Cincinnati area. It's a small room. I think it's like 100 seats, and I'm doing 4 shows. So let's sell the shows out, right? Let's not have me go to Dayton, Kentucky for. I mean, I'm a love 40 people if y'all show up, but come on, right? Dayton, Kentucky, the Cincinnati area, it's literally like, I think, a river that separates the two. And to cross the river, like you could jog over the river in like 3 minutes or something like that, over the bridge. It's very close. So come and see me this weekend, Friday and Saturday, December 12th and 13th. I am at the Commonwealth Commissary in, I don't know if that's the name of the venue. Just scroll down to the details of this podcast. You'll see the link. Get those tickets. Also, my last shows of the year, I will be in Miami December 26th, 28th, 29th, and 30th. I will be at the Miami Improv. And of course, the link for those tickets are in the details of this podcast. And if you haven't hit subscribe yet, hit subscribe. Come on, what you doing? And give me the thumbs up. Okay. So apparently when they finally, I'm going back to Cali, when they was in California doing press, specifically LA, doing press, Biggie ain't really want to be here. According to this documentary, he ain't really want to be here. And the documentary tells the story that Diddy was keeping him there. Right? Like Diddy was supposed to get on a plane. He was supposed to be in LA one day doing press. Then he was supposed to get on a plane and go and be like one of the first rappers to do European press. Right? And Diddy was like, no, stay here. And so that's how they making it seem like that's the setup. Right? But okay, we all know the inevitable happened. The tragic thing happened. Biggie was killed. Right? The thing that made me throw my hands up was Diddy saying, that's my best friend. That's like the only friend I had. And, really positioning himself as Biggie's like best friend, but then going to say, and we going to throw the biggest funeral this city has seen. And I remember looking at that because it was a whole music video every night. He came out on the awards, but I remember the video first. And he had all the bad boy artists walking through it was a huge funeral. So in the documentary, they reveal that allegedly he threw that big ass funeral for Biggie and then expensed the funeral against Biggie's Life After Death album. So basically Biggie paid for his own funeral. Y'all, that was the point in the documentary where I was like, where's the paperwork? He's a villain. I'm ready to sign on the dotted line. I'm ready to sign his soul away. I'm ready to sign his soul away. I was appalled. I said, ooh, that's low. That's dirty. Who said they wanted? Did Faith say she needed a big ass funeral for her husband? Did Mama Wallace say she needed a big ass funeral for her son? After the documentary premiered, I want to give you guys all the information. After the documentary aired, someone apparently from Biggie's estate said that is not true, that they were very aware of all the books and what was going on with the estate, and they never paid for anything. But it's like, we talk about the one who put 75% of his mama name. You think he couldn't hide expensing a funeral? You sure? So who knows what the truth is? But if that is true, that sent me over. And then the last episode, the 4th episode of the documentary, when the girl, I think her name is Kalina, and she's from Diddy Dirty Money, right? When she said that she called him up, she was going through a custody battle with the father of her children, and she didn't have nothing. And I think she just came out with an album. She was just on an album with this man. Just touring the country with this man. And she called him and said, listen, I need $5,000. Can you please give me $5,000 to help me, fight this custody battle? And he was like, I ain't got it. Now while you on Forbes top 3 music moguls, alcohol moguls, damn near a billionaire, fashion but that ain't even the thing that sent me over the top. After that, he gonna call her. He gonna call her when the other girl in the group claimed that he essayed her or raped her, or he gonna call Kalina, who he previously said when she was fighting for her children, I ain't got $5,000 for you. He could have took out a payday loan. He ain't got He was carrying more than $5,000 in his pocket on a daily basis. He ain't had $5,000 for her, and then gonna call her and be like, I need you to do this. She's saying all of this stuff about me. It's all these accusations about me. And I said, I got to call Kalina, because if I died, if it was my funeral, she would jump in the casket with me. And let me tell you what Kalina said. She looked in the camera and told all of us on that Netflix documentary, she said, and yep, I would jump in the casket even though he didn't give me $5,000 to fight for my kids. Let me tell you who I am not. I am not the person in life that you can call it like petty, call it spite, call it whatever you want. But I ain't the one that you can leave hanging in my time of need and then call me during your time of need and not even acknowledge that you left me hanging during my time of need. But that's manipulation 101. Even to say it like that. Not to even to be like, I called you because I know that if I was dead, you would jump in the casket. It's like, excuse me, Your Honor, leading the witness. And poor girl, who knows what her life is like? Who knows if she ever got her kids back? Who knows what her life is like? Because for her to sit there, first of all, she did put out the statement, but for her to sit there after everything and tell the camera, and I would. But that's what I mean when I say there is that group of people who have made certain people their idols. You've made a person, another human being, a human man that has like a heart and a brain and blood cells and bones and tissue, just like you do. You've idolized him or her. And so regardless of how irresponsible they are with you, how disrespectful they are with you, how unwilling they are to show up when you are calling on them for help, you don't care. Because you just happy that they thought of you. I'm sure that she probably feels important. Yeah, he done shitted on a lot of people, but he ain't calling a lot of people. He calling me. And let me just tell you what. I think the thing that I could not believe in the whole documentary, and it was stuff that I was flabbergasted by, but the thing that I could not believe, the thing that was the most damning to me, was what they are trying to send cease and desist for, what they're trying to threaten lawsuits for, is you filming your strategy to fight the very case that you ended up having to go to trial for. Why would you ever record that? But of course, he recorded it because he thought he was going to be triumphant. He thought that he was recording. He thought he was recording. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he thought he was going to chop it up and it was going to be the best, the hero story. That's what he thought he was. But how do you do that and not pay the videographer? How you not paying nobody around you? It's a comedian right now. He got 1 million followers, which I don't care about. Because I'm this type of person, y'all, just so you know. You either funny to me or you not. And it's just that simple. I either respect you or I don't. And I don't care if the world says that you are worthy. I don't care if you have $50 million or 50 million followers. I don't care if you are selling out arenas. I don't care if Times put you on the cover of their magazine and say you are the person of the year. If I don't find you funny or I don't like you or respect you, no accolade from another person is going to change my opinion that I have come to because of my personal interaction with you. It's just not going to happen, right? So there's this comedian who I actually recently worked with, not because, not because he asked me to, but we just so happened to be booked on the same show. But who booked me I was doing a favor for another comedian, right? So this guy used to run a show at a comedy club in LA. And he, used to book the shows, whatever. And he booked my friend. And my friend was like, this is what comedians do all the time. If you can't make a spot, you got to cancel a spot, especially last minute. You're going to try and get another comedian to fill in for you, right? And the comedian who's filling in for you is they getting the same payment that you was going to get. They getting the same spot pay, blah, 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 right? So unless it's like a favor or something like that, and then that is relayed, right? So comedian calls me. He's like, hey, Z, are you available? I had to drop out this spot last minute. And I ran some names by them to see if who could replace me. And they asked me if you could do it. And I said, sure. When's the it's tonight, blah, 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 blah. I'll go do the show. This is some years ago. I go do the show. At the end of the show, I go to the host / promoter of the show, producer of the show, and I'm like, hey, where's my money? And I don't care if it's $30, $25, $15, I don't care. Where's my money, right? And he was like, oh, you gotta get it from the club, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I go to the box office, I go to the owner of the club, blah, 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 blah. They like, oh no, we paid the producer of the show. You gotta get it from him, from the host, right? And so it's like I ain't about to be playing going back and forth, right? I call a comedian who asked me to fill in for him. I say, yo, I did the show and now I'm trying to get paid and they kind of giving me the runaround. So he said, oh, no, let me call the host and I'll make sure you get your money, right? So he calls the host and he said he gonna reach out to you right now. But yeah, I told him like he's supposed to pay you for the spot. Long story short, I never got the money. When I tell y'all, I do not mess with this. This comedian now has 1 million followers. This comedian now be headline. Some of my friends who are way better comedians than him, because he has a following, they be opening up for him. We be in the same room. I told him we was on a show. Like a year ago or something like that. Two things happened. I was on a show with a comedian who I thought was him. They looked the same. And the comedian was like, what's up, Zainab? And I was like, oh yeah, I don't fuck with you. And he was like, what? And I said, yeah, because I did that show, and you gave me the runaround and I never got paid. And so I don't have any respect for you. You showed me you don't have any respect for me. I don't have any respect for you. And he was like, this is what the comedian said. He said, are you confusing me with so-and-so? And I was like, I looked at him and I was like, oh, are you not that person? And he was like, I get that all the time. He was like, but no. And I said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I apologize. I said, how you doing? I'm so sorry. How are you doing? I'm fine. We can start over. And me and the guy was cool. So then I realized like, oh, okay, this is the comedian who I got beef with. Like not beef, but you just don't exist to me. And I'm fine with saying that and showing I'm fine with you not existing to me. So then I saw him later and I said it to him. I was like, yeah, I thought you was another comedian and I made the mistake and I flipped out on him, but I'm glad that it's you now so I could let you know to your face, like you gave me the runaround, you never paid me for it, and I just felt like that was disrespectful and you never made it right. So I don't mess with you. And he was like, no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean blah, 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 blah. I was like, yeah, it's just, yeah. until you run me to $30. And here's the thing. It's like, of course, it's not about like the actual amount, but I just learned very early in this business, just in the same way that they say, music is like, it's a really, cutthroat business and it's really like disrespectful. Like the way Diddy wasn't paying nobody, I ain't about to complete no album for you. You got Craig Mack. This is all in his documentary. You got Craig Mack on stage performing, his wife in the audience, and he all the way nominated for a Grammy. And he tells you that he don't got no money, and you pull a wad of cash out your pocket. These is the stories this was getting me. Not the fact that he put all the shit in his mama's name. That's what crooks do. The fact that he gonna pull out a wad of money and take $100 bill and give it to Craig Mack. Now, here's the thing, y'all. I'm gonna tell this story and then I'm gonna get up out of here. I remember going to a bad boy party, not a Diddy party, but like a bad boy party in the city. I don't know. It was somebody's birthday, like a bad boy artist. Like it was one of their birthdays. And I don't know. I guess somebody I knew at the time was dating that particular artist, like a bad boy artist. I'm probably like in college, dating like a bad boy artist. And it's raining. We waiting outside to get in, right? It's a lot. It's a bunch of people waiting outside to get in. It's raining. It's raining hard. We under umbrellas. Craig Mack is standing there, right? And I was like, oh my God, that's in my mind. Like, oh my God, that's Craig Mack, right? And he got his afro. Craig Mack is tall. Because if I'm doing like, I'm tall. Y'all know I'm tall. So if I'm doing like this, that means Craig Mack is tall, right? He got his, he got his like, that kind of like, it's not an afro, but you know how Craig Mack used to wear his hair, right? And we wondering why they not really letting people in the party. We with the birthday person. We with whose party it is, right? I don't realize why they not letting people, like why they holding a line right now, right? And then right when I'm like, oh my God, that's Craig Mack, I turn and I see Diddy and his entourage, and they go into the party, right? As Diddy is going into the party, they stop him at the door. One of the bouncers stops him at the door and says, obviously, like Craig Mack ain't done music in a while or whatever, but he still looked just like he looked, right? And he says, they pointed at Craig Mack and was like, he good? Diddy turned and looked at Craig Mack, didn't say nothing, and walked in the party. And then they let us in because I was with the people who was with the bad boy artist, and they didn't let Craig Mack in. And for me, y'all, that's when I knew. That's when I knew as a 20-year-old, oh, this guy's atrocious. That's when I knew that, oh yeah, I can't, that man, yeah, I'm so glad he gave us 112 and Mary J. Blige and Jodeci and Mace and Loon and Sean to a certain extent and Biggie and you know what I'm saying? But in total, but that guy's a monster. How dare, oh my God, I can't believe he left one of his original artists outside. But it's like I was young and whatever. So it was kind of like like, I can't believe, like just a story that I have, but then to watch the documentary and hear that he kind of basically like strung everybody along. You go and sign, and it's a lot of people. I talk, it's very hard talking to my male friends because a lot of men don't understand how misogynistic they are. And the reason why they don't know that they misogynistic is because they love their mothers so much. They love their mothers, their sisters, and their female friends. They love us so much. They don't understand that outside of us, they only see women as less than and really sexual creatures. That's all they view women as. But they don't think that because they have such reverence for the women that they actually love. They have reverence for their aunt, for their cousins, for their nieces. You know what I'm saying? For their female friends. They have such reverence for us. But outside of us, women really have no value outside of like sexual pleasure. So it is very hard to have conversations as it relates to Diddy and Cassie, especially, and other women and even men that he took advantage of. It's very hard to have that conversation with some of the men in my life because they just don't get it. And this is what I love about having conversations, like kind of like debates with the men in my life versus like strangers, is because we all know each other's history, stories, and stuff like that. So I'm able to pull up, like when I was talking to my friend, he was like, yeah, I just feel like, you know, Cassie's not a victim. I just feel like, I said, okay, you got to consider that woman's age. You looking at Cassie now as a 40-year-old woman, a 38, 39, however old she is, year-old woman. I said, but you got to take into consideration if that was a 19-year-old. If I tell you the things that I was gullible, the things that I was naive to at 19 years old, then I had to say to him a story we both know. I said, this, your homegirl. I said, when she did this, how old was she? Now he know the answer to that question. Oh, she was about 33 at the time. Now, but that's your homegirl, right? And you got a little bit of empathy for her because that's your homegirl. But she 33. Cassie was 19. And nobody's absolving her. Nobody's not holding her accountable for her role in any aspects of her life. But it's like some stuff you got to know. Some stuff you got to know. It's like he signed Cassie to a 10-year deal. And this is like the comedian in me now. It's like, you know something fishy. Because you, respectfully and with love, it's like, come on, Cassie. And everybody around Cassie, when they show them old videos of Cassie, you like, oh, she was so young. But what you don't say is, oh, she was so talented. Respectfully and with love. You don't say that. So it's like when I was watching Baby Reindeer. If you ever seen Baby Reindeer and you see the show, the comedy show that he was putting on, it's like, I'm so sorry that you were sexually assaulted. But your spidey senses gotta go off because your show is terrible. That show where he was dressing, the show with the character in the show Baby Reindeer, the show that he put on at the Fringe Festival, it was so bad. If a producer comes to your show, this awful show, and it's like, I want to invest all my time, you got to know you probably about to pay in another way. Unfortunately. So they in the documentary talk about then he signed Cassie to a 10-album deal. They show her dancing in that mirror. And you don't realize it. When was that? We was all very, very young at that time. You know what I'm saying? We all Cassie at that time. In 2007, we all Cassie. And so you see a little bit of yourself in Cassie, like, yeah, boom, cat, right? But now looking back and watching that, you like, that poor girl that poor girl, an album was not about to come out. Poor thing. He just control. That's all he did was control, manipulate. And according to the documentary, it wasn't one size fits all. He had a specific type of control for every different type of person. Whether it was like, sexual, mental, physical, monetarily, he had a different way of controlling every single person. But, it got to be hard to know or watch every single person die. Only people around you that ain't. Listen, Mary J. Blige got out, but she was doing drugs for a while with Casey, right? And then her husband, whatever his name is, took everything. but she managed to bounce back. Total and 112, they going on a legacy tour in 2026, right? Thank God for them. But the rappers especially, I mean, everybody did. Faith had to marry Stevie J. I mean, your legacy, when we think about it, the bad boy legacy outside of the music, it's pretty terrible. The only two people that kind of got away, the hip hop people, they ain't had to do no time, it's because they went to God. Mace went to the church and Loon went to Islam. He went to the masjid. So I have a question before I go. First of all, make sure you get your I'm Reasonable. Make sure you get your I'm Reasonable t-shirts. Like I said, there is a limited quantity. And I believe if you order them by the 16th, you'll definitely have them before like Christmas. I don't know if you was trying to get a gift for somebody. You'll definitely, if you order them by the 16th, you will definitely get them before Christmas. But after the 16th, I cannot guarantee. But yeah, get your t-shirts. Also, if you are in the Dayton, Kentucky, Cincinnati area this weekend, I will be there performing 4 shows, 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. The link to the tickets are in the details of my podcast. And then come if you're in the South Florida area, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, etc. Come see me. I will be at the Miami Improv doing a bunch of shows. Friday, December 26th, and then Sunday, December 28th, Monday, Tuesday, December 29th and 30th. Come see me, come see me, come see me. Those tickets are in the details of this podcast. Oh, there's no Ask Z. If you want to submit an Ask Z, which just means you want to ask my advice on something, you want to tell me a story and ask me if you were reasonable or unreasonable, write into Ask Z. You can either send me a direct message on social media, or you can send an email to ZainabComedyVIP, because you guys are very important people. ZainabComedyVIP@gmail.com, and just put in the subject line Ask Z. So Sean Combs' The Reckoning is a documentary that is executively produced by Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. So what I want to ask you guys, this I feel like is the $1 million question online. Do you think it's hypocritical for 50 Cent's name to be attached to this particular documentary, as well done as it was? Do you think that it's hypocritical for 50 Cent to have been one of the people to be at the forefront of getting this documentary, this story, this information out to the public? Because as some people have said, there could also be a documentary called Dr. Dre, The Reckoning. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you so much for listening. This has been another episode of I'm Reasonable with me, Zainab Johnson. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until we talk again, get the t-shirts, but also try your best to be reasonable. Bye.